Ever wonder why Hollywood movies shoot in a studio versus a real location? It always comes down to how to save time and how to save money. But do you know when to choose which one, or which one will create the best end result? In this video, I'm going to break down a commercial for you where I had to make this exact call: practical versus studio. And we did both, but not in the way you might think. We needed to shoot an action scene on a bus. Because of safety, lighting, and sound, you might think that we would have chosen a studio. Nope. And we needed to shoot in 3 different bathroom locations. It's probably cheaper to shoot those on location, right? Nope. Oh, and don't forget the product shots. Product shots, 4 locations, one of which is on a moving bus, and we only had enough money to hire a crew for 1 day. In the next 9 minutes, we're going to give you our best real-world advice so that by the end, you can make the right call on your own project. Practical versus studio. Save that time, save that money. Hey everybody, it's Renny. I'm really excited to take you behind the scenes of a commercial I made for a bath bomb company called Cosset that was really, really fun. Now this commercial had a lot of challenges and I'm really proud of it because there were a lot of logistical issues that I had to figure out in a really creative way that kind of went above and beyond the normal scope of just like filming at a house or something or filming outside. In fact, there ended up being 3 big challenges I had to solve as a producer. The main challenge that I was dealing with was time and money. Of course, I had to film 6.5 pages in 1 day. So that was challenge number 1. And then my second challenge was the script called for 3 unique looking bathroom locations. Considering how pressed we were for time, finding and lighting 3 unique locations was problematic. Now, I technically had 4 locations that we had to film in, and that created, of course, the biggest challenge of all. Challenge number 3. We needed to film on a city bus, and I had to make the call to shoot practically in a bus versus in a studio with green screen or an LED wall or something. So I'm gonna take you behind the scenes on day 1. We actually ended up having a prep day. This prep day was vital in terms of saving time on our shoot day. So on our prep day, we were able to do fittings with our cast, which just means that everybody shows up, they know exactly what they're going to wear for the day, and they know that it fits. And then we actually got some B-roll for the product, and because our art department was building bathrooms, more on that in a second. The DP and the director and myself decided, okay, we're just gonna tackle the shooting of this B-roll. And so we wanted to get these really beautiful shots of the bath bombs in water and what they look like when they're fizzing and they're melting and dissolving in the water. I actually remember we had to clean the fish tank and then fill it up with water, and it was really heavy. And I was like, oh my gosh, the art department has such a hard job sometimes because we were doing it ourselves. That was really fun, and getting the product shots on the prep day really freed up time on our shoot day so that we didn't have to worry about that. So I was able to find a studio close to our location where we were driving the bus around, and it was a fairly small studio, but still it was just like perfect for our needs, and we used that studio as our home base. And that's how we started to tackle problem number 1. Covering 6 pages. And now problem number 2, 3 bathrooms in 1. So why didn't we just show up at somebody's bathroom, rent their bathroom for the day, and move on? Well, time was really the biggest issue. We had to film most of the day on a bus. It was like literally like 6 or 8 hours that we spent on this bus. And then we didn't have time to wrap up the crew, do a company move, drive to even a house with 3 bathrooms in it to film the rest of the commercial. So what is a company move and why do they eat up so much time? So a company move is literally when your cast and crew has to move from one location and drive in their respective cars to the next location. It's not uncommon to do a company move, but people try to avoid them as much as possible because your crew has to pack up all their gear, all of their lighting gear, all of their camera gear, all of the wardrobe, all of their makeup, anything that they've used on set for that day. They have to pack it up, which can take an hour or more sometimes. They have to drive to the next location and then they have to unpack it. Usually you're wasting at least an hour, sometimes up to 3 hours in a day just to move your company. And that time is really valuable that you could use to get footage in the can. So in general, I try to avoid company moves. And so we decided it would be much more cost effective to actually build 3 bathrooms in 1. And I came up with this idea and I was like, is it even possible to do this? And I called one of my favorite production designers, Stephen McManus, up and I was like, hey dude, can you build me 3 bathrooms in 1? And he totally did it because he's amazing and he's an expert at what he does and he's a genius, and he did his previs and we went for it. So today we have been pre-lighting and pre-building a bathroom set that will play as 3 different sets. I have these this amazing team who built one set with flats, and we've got 2 bathroom tubs and removable walls and different decorations so that we can make this bathroom literally look like 3 bathrooms, which is essential for this commercial. We'll see how it goes. So that was the prep day, and then it was go time. Because we had so much to cover, I scheduled a full 12.5-hour day, which meant we got up bright and early the next morning. I'm so tired this morning. And of course, film producing is all about putting out fires. So of course, when I got to set, I got to go right to work. So one of the first things I had to troubleshoot this morning was getting a boot taken off our art truck. Thanks a lot, City of Provo. Now remember, we were using the studio as a home base, so we actually brought the cast and the crew to the studio in the morning, and we shot the one scene in the really fancy hero bathroom that they built. Oh my gosh, will you look at that bathroom? It's so beautiful, and they knocked it out of the park. This is the first thing that we shot on our shoot day. So we actually brought the actor in a little bit early. He took a bath in the morning, he got to take a bubble bath and then go get dressed. And then we attempted to solve the biggest problem. How do we film all of our actors on a bus? So when I got the script, or when I read the script, I was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to drive around on a bus in circles all day? And yes, that's literally what we did. But I had to weigh out all the other options as well. So we considered filming the bus on a green screen in a studio, as well as an LED wall, and as well as setting the project at night. So all 3 of those scenarios have their different challenges. Setting the commercial at night wasn't really an option because it didn't make sense for the commercial. It needed to take place during the daytime. The second option that we were kind of looking at is filming on an LED wall, which would have been super awesome, but there were 2 big problems with that. One was literally just the cost of renting an LED wall is very expensive, and then the time needed to prep the imagery, the video that goes on the wall itself, we didn't really have that in pre-production time, so that was sort of off the table. So the third option was filming on a green screen in a studio, which meant we would have had to knock the windows out of the bus, which we considered, and I was like, okay, how do we do that? I don't think we can rent a bus and like take the windows out and actually put them back carefully. I mean, maybe it's possible, I'm sure somebody can do it, but that sounded like very cumbersome to me. And then on top of that, just the idea of like replacing all of the windows with green screen and having to deal with the action on the bus, just I knew we would not have the time in post or the money to pull that off. So practical bus it was, and we found this company, Le Bus, that we were able to rent a bus from, as well as a driver, and the driver came dressed as a bus driver, and we even paid him a little bit extra to say a line and show up on camera. So after we filmed the first bathroom scene, we shuttled everybody onto the bus.
Whoa, welcome to my crib. Come on in. We got seats. We got things to hold on to. We got a camera.
And then you can see where she approaches you.
Hey, I've got Charlotte here. Everybody, stay calm. There are bombs on this bus. Where are the bombs?
Are you talking about these? That was our practical solve. We did have to deal with ADR issues and literally re-record every line that took place on the bus because buses are loud. Side note, if you don't know what ADR is, it's additional dialogue replacement. It is when you have to bring in an actor to the studio and they re-record their lines that they've already said on the commercial, and they have to lip sync and match their lips and their lines to the video. And then again, after we drove around all day on the bus, literally for like 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it was, we went back to the studio, and the set design team had stripped the first bathroom down and put the second 2 bathrooms together, and they still used the same set of flats, and they put 2 different tubs on either side of the wall so they could dress them differently. And voila, we had e pluribus bathrooms. We had 3 bathrooms in one, and we saved so much time and so much money by not having to move our crew or pay like a really nice house for 3 different bathrooms or whatever it may be. At the end of the day, we got this done. We shot 6.5 pages in one day, including a moving bus, and it just was like, I can't believe we got it done. And I'm actually really, really proud of the decisions that I had to make and the questions that I had to ask myself and the research that I had to do with not only my crew, but bouncing off the director and bouncing off the DP. And it was like, how are we gonna pull this off? And at the end of the day, I think we did a really good job. Make sure to catch an extended cut of this video absolutely free on the Indie Film Crew Patreon, where we do regular live streams and share all of our tools and exclusive filmmaking stories with our community. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe for more indie film alchemy.